throughout Australia. This is 3AW's live coverage of the 2018 AFL Premiership season.
And we appreciate your company on this Friday night, the opening game of round 19. What a cracker it has been so far. If you've joined us late, Essendon by 3 points at halftime, 6-7-43 to Sydney, 6-4-40. There is no multiple goal kicker on the ground. We've already had Zach Jones reported for striking Zach Merritt. We have had Matt D knocked out by landing awkwardly and cracking the back of his head on the hard Etihad Stadium turf. About 10-15 minutes into the opening term, there's plenty other players battered and bruised. The medical teams from both sides have been working overtime, and a big second half to come as we wrap up half-time for Sheen Panel Service. Make sure you have choice of repairer, so you can call Sheen Panel Service. Go to sheengroup.com.au for more details. We might get down to Jackie Reid on the boundary before we get underway, because what have you spotted down there, Shorey?
It's Heath Grundy.
Heath Grundy hasn't come out yet.
Okay, they've only 21 out there at the moment, 3 on the bench. Let's get down to Jackie Reid then.
Yeah, it looks like Heath Grundy hasn't come out yet. I'm keeping an eye out for him. He might just be a bit slow out of the rooms, but I'll see what I can find out.
Yeah, Jackie, we just watched the Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota replay, and he looked very, very sore. With the physios still down there, he just walked back into the doctor's room right then, so it doesn't look great for him, but just still in there at the moment.
And Stringer's trying to go to Alir, who at the moment is trying to go to Kyle Langford. So a bit of a ring-a-ring-a-rosy, 20 metres out from the Essendon goal.
Third term brought to us by Robot Building Supplies. 40 plays 43. Bombers lead thanks to 2 goals in the last 15 seconds of the second term from the ball up. Ball knocked down towards Heppel. Ronk came in quickly off the square. Tried to get away with it. Kennedy does. Kicked it about 3 metres. Got it to Florent. He's caught though. Gone. Great tackle, Merritt. Oh, and he's let him know about it too. I reckon we'll keep an eye on that behind play because it's on. Smith's caught. He gets flicked away out of his grasp by Smith. Swan's come up with it. Ronk tried to get away from a tackle. He's caught. He's done. He's gone. Geez, the intensity's up early here. So quick turnover, free kick Bombers on the wing, 40 plays 43. Opening seconds, action packed to the third.
It's the long kicking David Myers, but he goes short and wide to Sard, who can also hoof a ball. Pounds it into the left forward pocket. Langford was the target, and Rampy was right there with him. Affects the spoil, and it's out of bounds, 30 around from the Essendon goal, who kicked to the Lloyd end, or southern end, in this third term.
Stringer has to go up for the ruck here, boys.
And he takes front position against Sinclair, who just eases him out the way and wins it down expertly to the skipper in Kennedy, who misses the target by hand, looking for Heaney. He almost bounced it underneath his grasping or clawing hands looking for it, and it's trickled out again for another throw-in. So once more, Stringer has to do the ruck work. This time, Sinclair easily gets to the front and wins it down. Stringer didn't even contest, but the ball comes to Zaharakis. Centering ball, Mitch Brown on the second attempt takes the mark. And he will line up for goal. There is only a very slight angle to speak of. And man on the mark stands at about 30. Some vision there of Heath Grundy in the room.
It's like he's walking back down towards the race to come out. It's, whether he plays or not is another story. But that was a poor effort from Robbie Fox, who was on him where Grundy would normally be.
So Mitch Brown, either side of half-time, kicks 2 in a row. And the Bombers lead it by 9 points. 7-7-49. Sydney 6-4-40. Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. We're only 2 1/4 into the third. He's Shorey.
Gee, I want to go back to Callum Sinclair in the ruck. Now, you got a small player. I know he's trying to keep it in tight. I reckon you just got to try and push it to the boundary line. Don't hit it towards your goal or away from their goal, because that's where they've probably got a wall, Lloydie. But this little thing of putting it in tight, the ball can spill, and it's such a contest that you can just run onto the ball anyway. At least get it to the boundary line and keep fighting for distance, 10, 15 metres at a time.
Norm Smith medalist, the Premiership captain, Tony Shaw on 3AW Football, Matthew Lloyd, Bruce Seaver, Jackie Reid downstairs. Great to have your company. Great game, this ball up in the middle. Flick past Florent. He couldn't get it. Picked up by Hewitt. Gave it back to Florent. Kicks around his body towards the wing. Chance here for Ronk. Edged out of it. Chance for Jones, but Heppel got there first. Fed it back to Goddard. He couldn't get it. Almost a throw from McCartan. Lucky he didn't quite get the hand on the ball and throw it away in the end. McGrath outside of the boot. Roll it towards the boundary and helped out of play. We'll get a ball in on the wing. Push and shove. Lloyd, Smith, Hewitt. It's on. And we'll get a ball in with the Bombers. They're leading by 9 points.
So the biggest lead of the game was when Sydney led by 10 points, 6-4-4. Since then, it's been 3-1-0 in favour of the home side. Shallow throw in. Myers actually picks up the crumbs. Handballs to Merritt, who helicopters one. An awkward spinning thing to right half forward, and Langford protects the drop of the footy and takes a chest mark at 52. Spreads it wide, and Bagley takes the mark at 35, but a tough angle for a right footer. Only 7 or 8 metres in from the chalk.
Just too big there. I think Kyle Langford for Nick Smith in the air, and suddenly they're falling apart here, Sydney. They've got nothing out of Franklin, who's their big gun, and then down the bottom end, Hayward, 4 disposals, Dawson, 5, Newman, 5, McCartan, 5, O'Riordan, 6. So their bottom end players are struggling, as are some of their big guns.
Bagley for his 15th goal of the season. What a transformation it's been. High pressure, small forward. Drop punt on the way, and it's out to the right. It never looked like swinging back, and a minus score. 1-1 this evening for Mark Bagley, and it's 7-8-50 the Bombers, 6-4-40 the Swans on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
Lottie, a bit hard to touch it when the ball doesn't look like getting up there, though, does it? You know, in this quarter, they have been dominant. I'd hit him on the ball, Franklin. Give him 7 minutes, even though it's really early in this game.
From the kick in high, and Heaney goes up, can't mark it, ball hits the deck. McGrath danced his way inside 50, gave it to Merritt, spears toward goal, and he kicks a beauty. And this is the biggest lead of the game, and Sydney, like the Bombers, one down on the bench now, are on the ropes. 6-4 to 8-8. And we've played 5 minutes third term for Robot Building Supplies. Jackie Reid downstairs.
Yeah, good news. Heath Grundy has just walked out of the race. He looked okay when he walked through just then, but he's on the bench as well as having a chat to physios.
Shorey, John Longmire, this is where we find out about him.
Yeah,
I think. I know he's a premiership coach, and he's lost grand finals and things like that, but has he tried anything yet?
No.
Not one thing. And they've been on the ropes, not just on the scoreboard, but in general play, inside 50s. They're just getting smashed. So he needs to do something through that period. While there's been a bad bounce, I'll just get the inside 50s of Corrimal Winter Caravans double now, 37-18. Yet, he's got to try something through that midfield. That's
even Franklin. Some younger players who haven't done it before, have faith in them.
Sam Hay recalls the bounce, and from the throw up, there's a late whistle. In fact, it's the non-controlling umpire Schmidt, who picks out a free kick, and it'll go to Parker for being held. No one again stands the mark, so Parker gains an extra 5 metres, pumps it towards full forward, and Hooker, good body work, takes the saving mark. Again, Franklin wasn't a factor, and McCartan eased out of that contest far too easily. Hooker spreads it wide by foot to Goddard. Can't play on as Heaney arrived rapidly. Close to the boundary line, Brendan Goddard. Game number 330 tonight. He loads up. Long, high drop punt in the bell chambers and stringer direction. Alier flew high. Got hands on it. The second attempt at the mark was over the boundary line, so we'll have a throw in adjacent the interchange gates. Essendon with the last 4 goals of the game, leading 8-8-56 to 6-4-40.
Franklin has not touched it all that much at all. From the ball in, Heaney gets it around the body towards attacking 50. McCartan down there, Hooker down there. Hooker will get there first. Boundary line might beat him. He gave it back to Hurley. He kept it alive, back pocket. He kicks it back out, but Sinclair takes the mark. And a good grab too. Swan's about to go back inside 50. Franklin leads. The lead's honoured, but it sits on his head. Almost a free kick for Franklin. It is a free kick. Yeah, I thought it was there. Hurley sort of leaned into him, got him a little high, and Franklin will get his first shot at goal for quite a while. What did you think of the free, Lloydie?
Yeah, I just thought forearm to the back of the head. So
that'd be a free, wouldn't it?
Yeah, free kick. And this is his spot. So this is the wrong side for his preferred left foot. But this is where the perfect distance for him to get that swing from right to left, which he usually gets.
So he's outside the boundary. He'll kick from 49 as he walks inside the boundary. No need to tell you how much they need it. In he struts. Struck it pretty well. It is an absolute gem.
That is freakish.
That's a pancake parlour goal of the night.
Lovely.
It's only a set shot, but there's not a lot of players in the game. Some blokes miss them from 20 metres directly out. Sydney 7-4, Essendon 8-8. Tell us more about it, Churi.
Well, being a left footer, and nothing like Lloydie and Buddy Franklin, the hardest kick is for a left footer to stop going from left to right on your hook. But he has done that so many times. As Lloydie said, being far enough out, he can get that inside swing, which goes from right to left. And it's just unnatural for a lot of left footers to do that. I don't know if you could do it, Lloydie, whether you could, I know you probably would have kicked some goals and maybe kept it left and kept going that way, but he is freakish in doing that. They needed it, though. They were under the pump.
Goalless last week, goalless in the first half tonight, but a big major from the Budster. Can it ignite the Swans? Socket out of mid-air by, it was hard to pick out, might have been by Heaney, but Lux of Fortune, it landed in the arms of Dawson, played on and his kick was battered down. Parrish went without it. It's at centre-half forward for the Swans, Stacks on the mill, and the umpire calls for it. There'll be a throw-up, about 49 out from the Sydney goal. They trail by 10 points. A lot of players around the footy. Bell Chambers and Sinclair. The big bomber wins the tap down to McDonald, Tip and Woody, who just eases out of the congestion brilliantly and puts it onto the chest of Fantasia, who kicks out in favour of the leader, Mitch Brown, who skids on his knees as he takes the mark just forward to centre wing. Goddard cruises by outside of him. He ignores that and then he lowers the eyes and dabs a little pass to Heppel.
Bit of possession footy here from the Bombers. Heppel goes long now, looking for but not finding Guelphy. McDonald, Tip and Woody got a fly, and it's taken out forward pocket for the Bombers. Although there's an umpire running in here as if he's going to pay a free. He's just sorting out the push and shove. That's it. John Longmire cutting Franklin some slack pre-game, saying he's trained about 20 minutes for the entire year, which sounds a little strange, but anyway, it's what he said. Ball back into play, forward pocket, Essendon, no one going anywhere.
What injury, Dwayne? What is he talking about?
He just said he's been carrying injury all year. And
well, it does take its toll if you're not training and can affect your performance come late in the year.
I can't believe there wouldn't be journalists reporting that Franklin didn't train again this week, though, at the Essendon, at the Sydney Swans training sessions. As Smith can't get away with it, and we'll get another ball up about 30 out from the Bombers'
Just
goal.
watch this tap here, boys. Now, he's going up against, Sinclair's going up against a smaller player. Will he just drop it down at his feet? Just dropped it down at his feet. You're still under pressure.
Yeah, and bobble back from Kennedy to Sinclair. Kick without looking, high up and under. Clears defensive 50. At the back, McCartan gathered. He was looking to give off by hand to Hayward. Hayward grabs it eventually. He handballed it back to O'Riordan. Kick was smothered. It's a hard footy to win at the moment. Francis has got it again. Ball to boot quickly without looking. Scrambles a kick inside, forward 50. Now it's back out again. Sard runs onto the loose ball. Sells a dummy to no one. And then kicks from 60. It's a very long ball and off hands. Mainly those of Alir through for a rush behind, which leaves our favourite score now, Shorey. It's 8-9-57 the Bombers, 7-4-46 the Swans, 11.5 into the third.
And the Boos, Telly Jones has got the kick in straight down the spine. He gets it to Dawson, who's got it middle of the ground at centre half back to Papley, half back flank. He's got the handball option, Cunningham. He's got another handball option in Kennedy, and he's on the wing. Chips the kick back to Jones, who started this off from the kick in, gets another boo or two. And as Beaver told you, they're among the best booers in the comp, the Bombers. Short pass to Cunningham, who's got it. Still on the wing. Holds it up.
That's not a criticism.
Oh, it's a praise.
We discussed it with Scotty Lucas last Saturday during the Essendon Freo game.
Wide ball, Franklin there, can't mark it. Kennedy crumbs it, gave it up to Heaney, 50 from goal, centre and kick, top of the square, no one can mark it. Ball hits the deck, Parrish to Goddard, back pocket, hands it to McDonald, Tip and Woody, not a lot to go to. Dances his way inside, outside. Goes back with a handball to Goddard. Last line of defence, and he finds Hooker in the back pocket with a short pass.
They've hemmed him in here, the Swans. Nothing on short. Hooker's going to take all of his allotted time. He's up against the fence. He's now called to go. So off a step, he kicks a long ball outside defensive 50. It'll be coming straight back in. Cunningham takes the mark at the back of a pack of three. Lowers the eyes. He was kicking there for Hayward, who did all the hard work and then dropped the mark. Essendon can rebound. Mitch Brown, the old 1-2 with Parrish. Parrish the kick right into the centre circle. Guelphy was clean below his knees. Got a handball to Sard. Handballs to fellow speeds to Zaharakis. Takes a bounce. Centering ball. What is that? He's kicked it straight to Alir as if it was his teammate when there were free teammates everywhere.
Lordy,
Oh, I just think that the indecision, Fantasia, I think he should have charged back towards goal. That's what Zaharakis wanted him to do. It was just a nothing lead, so Zaharakis panicked and kicked it to no man's land.
So Heaney quickly to half forward now for the Swans to McCartan. He's got Franklin on the move. Can he hit him? He does. And Franklin is in a good spot to kick it from here. 45 metres out, 45-degree angle. He tucks the mouth guard in the pocket of his shorts.
Has that Grundy gone forward for the Swans, boys? I think he has. Is it towards his goal square now?
Yep.
Correct.
So they made a change here, something that he might be able to run. That's the issue.
John Longmire has tried something. Franklin lines up to make it 8 goals apiece. To make it 8-9 to 8-4. He's just kicked one on this side, but a tougher angle. In he struts. Kicks from 49. It's to the near side. Was probably too easy. A shot. 7-5 to 8-9 on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard with 14 gone third.
He was a third option then, you know. They had 2 players clear on the other side of the ground, but he just dominates your vision, and that's an issue for Sydney.
Not enough angle with that kick.
No.
Goddard short to Hooker in the right back pocket. Pumps it outside defensive 50. The fist of Nick Smith smashes it back inside forward 50. At ground level, little give by Hewitt to Buddy, who takes on a very ambitious kick under pressure and puts it out of bounds on the full. And resultant free kick. Well, Hooker wants to give it up to Goddard, but Hooker's made to take the kick as Grundy dances around on the mark. Kicks it quickly. Guelphy flies high and early. Mistimed his jump. And in fact...
Did he touch the ball?
Didn't look too bad. It didn't look like a...
It was a realistic...
You've got to allow that. I mean, do we want the high mark in the game or not?
Yeah. But he's got to touch the ball, don't he? Or else I'll just say it's an unreasonable attempt.
You don't have to touch it if you have an unrealistic attempt to spoil. You only have to touch it if it's an unrealistic attempt to mark.
So Reardon, the Irishman, the recipient of the free kick, he thumps it back into the goal square. Off hands, Francis, good handball to Zaharakis, and a lovely kick to Mitch Brown at centre half back.
No one forward though for the Bombers. They've got every player back. Short pass to Stringer, half back flank. He heads toward half forward. He looks for and doesn't find Bagley. Ball knocked away from him. And we'll get a ball in half forward for the Bombers.
Tell you what, Mitch Brown, he is really playing a good role here. He's making Aliir responsible for him, at least to man up. And he's coming right up the ground. He looks a bit more uncomfortable in there, Aliir.
Back into play. Big spank down with the punch from Stringer. Got it to Parker. He gave his handball up. Headed towards the wing. Francis jumps, can't mark it. Paplick crumbs it. Gave it to Kennedy. Franklin leading back. Franklin and Hurley, 1-on-1. Franklin, Hurley. Franklin got a hand on it. Hurley crumbs it, but he falls. Gets out of it. Got a handball towards Goddard. Some sort of handball it was too. Half throw, half handball. Short pass to McGrath. He feeds it to Zaharakis, and he's got the mark at centre half back. Plays on quickly. Heads outside towards Langdon, and he takes the mark for the Bombers on the wing.
Hey, that was brilliant from Hurley. I love seeing Hurley when he has to play on the big guns. Often he can just accumulate a lot of disposals, but not play as effective as he's played tonight. He's been sensational.
It was superb stuff. Langford inboard to McGrath, who goes back to Goddard, who almost took the head off of umpire Ryan.
Is he a good one?
Yeah, he's one of the best,
okay.
Sean Ryan. As the kick eventually found Hooker, who passed to Guelphy, and he passes short to Bagley. They've now just in their attacking half of the ground, the Bombers. Pops a little ball over the top. Heppel, that's going to be an arm chop or whack behind the ear against Chunky Newman, who gathered. Got a handball to Heaney. Kick was half battered down, but it fell to Hewitt. Handball to Haywood. Another handball now to McCartan. Clear turf ahead of him. Beautiful pass.
Grundy.
And he finds Grundy. And Grundy is marked on his chest directly in front, and the man on the mark, Brendan Goddard, stands at 35. How many career goals has he? I reckon he started his career up forward.
Yeah,
did he kick 3 with his
I reckon he might have kicked more. Yeah,
in his first game?
And 5 in his first game, I reckon. He's only got 23.
23 in game number 253. But this is an important kick because the Swans trail by 10 points 18 minutes into the third term. They now trail by 4 points. Grundy kicks a goal. His first of 2018. We'll have to check his first since when. But what an important major.
They're patting him on the head as if he's never kicked one.
As if he's kicked a goal. Well, most of his teammates would never have seen him kick a goal. 8-5-53 the Swans, 8-9-57 the Bombers. That's on the Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. Clock stops with 7:19 remaining in the third.
Well, sometimes you need a bit of luck, and I thought that Dyson Heppel, the old arm chop, they don't pay him now. So, it's something that was in for a while, now it's gone out. But the rebound, just too many free players pushing forward for the Swans. It was coming, I think in both quarters, the Swans have come back hard a bit later in the quarters. So it might take a ballistic style of play that Essendon are playing takes it out of you.
Bombers one rotation down. Matt D, no further part in the game after getting injured early.
Stringer's in the ruck.
And Heppel the free. Got one too high.
4.5 years since a Heath Grundy goal, round 4, 2014.
Oh, good effort for that stat beef.
Well done, Craig Moore.
Hand off to McKenna. Short pass is good to Brown.
Gee, he's a danger forward at the moment.
So Mitch Brown have had some careers resurrected, the Bombers, due to circumstance. McKernan, Brown, D. Yeah, absolutely.
And just on Mitch Brown, it's on Rampy at the moment too. So he's had some good opponents, Aliir, Rampy, and he's turned this game for the Bombers.
To settle the ship from 49, he's missed. He's floated across the face, only A behind. Sydney 8-5, Essendon 8-10. And you can do the math. Beef, 19 minutes gone third.
He's the only multiple goal kicker on the ground, Mitch Brown. 2 goals, 2. Lloyd goes short to Newman. Onto that trusty left boot, he does give it a thump. It's a searching kick out to Hewitt, who handballs inboard to Fox, who handballs to Cunningham. Kicks after he just takes a step, and it's a long kick to right half forward. Papley's tackled, but he handballed forward. Sard chopped it off. Quick handball to McGrath. Clever kick inboard. Centre corridor to Parrish. Handball to McKenna. Handball then, McKenna's now got it from Guelphy. Now to Stringer from 52. Open goal, and he fires it home. Big Jake's got his first of the night. And the Bombers with a bit of breathing space again. 11 points the margin. 9-10-64 to 8-5-53 on the Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
I'm not sure I've seen a better build-up to goal than that one off halfback. All the pacey players of the Bombers. Not sure who kicked the first ball out to Parrish in the midfield, but just opened the whole game up and they were away. Fantasia, who's playing as a half forward, he was on the half-back line. He sprinted, got involved. We see the kick here off halfback. It's Sard. He gets the ball to McGrath. Pace to Parrish, who's got pace. Handball to Fantasia. Another player with leg speed. And they were just away. And Jake Stringer, he wasn't going to pass that one. He just banged it from 50.
And he celebrated the moment it hit his boot. Florent dumped into the deck, dropped it. Could have been a free. Parker caught, gave it to Kennedy. He's about to get caught. Got a kick away. Scrambles it to the midfield. Rolling ball. Parrish got there first. Gave it to Goddard. They found a new level all of a sudden, the Bombers. Gave it to Sard.
No.
Right, a little push off. Got it to Langford. Kicks it high. Stringer is inspired. Can't get there. Lloyd double fists it down to Rampy. Fed it back towards Lloyd. He takes it out with a little help from Brown. And this Bomber crowd show their appreciation. 64-53. Bombers by 11. 22 gone third for Robot Building Supplies.
Bombers with a win tonight will draw within a game of the Swans. Still a lot of percentage to make up. They'll in fact be out of the 8 only on percentage on the live ladder.
The Cats started in the 8 last week, won, and then were out of the 8 by the end of the round.
It's that crazy sort of season, Dwayno. From the restart here, Lloyd, handball to Zach Jones. He kicked it out of bounds to the full. He has.
Touched.
Yeah. Touch, says umpire Ryan. And boundary umpire was more than happy to call out of bounds on the full. Zarakis is... In fact, we got that wrong. It's Sam Hay. So let's give credit where it's due. He says, no, definitely touch. Throw in. 65 around from the Essendon goal. Bombers lead by 11 points. 5 minutes and a bit of change till three-quarter time. Bell Chambers got rid of Sinclair. Won it down to Myers. Kicked on his non-preferred right. McDonald Tippett Woody with one of the goals of the year! Right foot snap under pressure, running away from the goal. Non-preferred side. It had everything, and it gives Essendon a 17-point lead. 10-10-70 to 8-5-53 late in the third.
Oh, just a magnificent goal. Just, again, the pressure around the ball. There was a free kick in the ruck, but you've got to play the game as it is. One thing I love about Johnny Worsfold, when Bellchambers went off, he threw a stringer into the ruck. That's how he got forward with no man on him. I think it's a great move. He's a power athlete. Get him up the ground, get him involved in the game, because then he can lose his defensive tag deep in the forward line.
Back in the middle. Latter stages, third term. Ball not down. Sinclair got his own clearance. Gave it to Kennedy. He kicks toward Buddy. Half a trip, no free. Ball knocked down towards the wing. Devon Smith's got it. Heaney's got him. Gave it up just in time to McGrath. Caught. Not a clean possession. Holding the ball. Swans ball just outside their 50, or about 80 from goal. Sends it long towards attacking 50. Franklin got two hands on it. Couldn't mark it. Knocks it out of play and will get a ball in. 50 from the Sydney goal. Huge round of applause. He's been beaten all night, Franklin. 10-10 to 8-5. Bombers lead.
Hurley has been magnificent. He's had plenty of mates, though. Sydney not done yet. The margin is 2-5. Sydney have struggled to score in recent weeks, but still close enough if they're good enough, given we've got a huge last quarter coming up from the restart. There's a Sydney free kick. Florent, was he caught high by Zach Merritt?
Yeah. I mean, he's frustrated Merritt. Hewitt's been all over him in this quarter. He's only had a couple of disposals.
Still 4 minutes and 10 seconds until three-quarter time. Kicks to the right forward pocket. Sinclair was the target. Slapped away. Grabbed by Kennedy. Claimed in a tackle by Zaharakis. And we'll have a throw up. So 10-10 to 8-5. A lot of players around the footy. Hurley now has been held by the arm by Buddy before the ball arrived. And Buddy's conceded a free kick, much to the delight of the Essendon faithful in this monster crowd here at Etihad on a Friday night.
Sard with the outside of his boot to McKenna. Travelled the required 11. McKenna, back pocket, tucked in. Goes to centre half back. Goddard. Ball thumped away from him. Franklin tried the don't argue, didn't work. Got it up to Ronk. He kicks it long towards goal. He's a freak, Ronk. It might have been touched on the line. They'll go to the video. No, he is a freak, Ronk. He does things in an unstylish manner that end up being perfect. 10-10, plays 9-5, and the Swans will not give this one in. 25 gone, third term.
Tell you what, Buddy didn't want to give the handball up, boys. He was silly strangled by his opponent. It was the last option. But Ronk, you're right, he's amazing. He just knows where the goals are. Bad kick by Connor McKenna. The turnover there is short. You just don't want to go back in the corridor.
Got to know your limitations. And McKenna, left foot, but that's unbelievable. That hooker believes it was touched. The umpire didn't want to go to the review.
Really? I was going to say,
they go to the review anyway.
Remember when we used to have goal?
Yeah, hooker was about 3 feet inside it. So
back in the centre, Sinclair. Well, he almost wins it down to Hewitt off the back of his shoulder. He kicks towards right half forward. Hurley goes to ground. Here's a chance for Buddy from 40 and closing. Oh, yes! Swans with 2 in 30 seconds. Bombers don't like it. Reckon Hurley was pushed out of the contest illegally. Hurley stands there with arms outstretched. Meanwhile, Buddy's celebrating his second. And all of a sudden, the Swans are back within 5 points. 10-5, 65 Sydney. 10-10, 70 Essendon. Robot Building Supply scoreboard.
I'm going to leave this to Matty Lloyd, the call on this.
Well, live, I think it was a good decision. I didn't notice too much in it. So let's see whether Hurley added some mayonnaise or it was genuine that he was shoved in the back by Lance Franklin. Here it is, the Yarra Valley and Croydon Toyota replay.
Oh, well over his shoulder. Just I wouldn't have paid it either. I reckon it wasn't hard enough in the contest.
Back in the middle, Bomber fans thought he was elbowed to the back of the head. By the way, Sinclair knocks it down. Bellchamber's got a clearance. Cunningham half held. No free. Ball comes to Jones. He'll get booed. He got a handball off too quick to get the boo. Hewitt had a chance and the ball flicked toward the boundary by Smith. And Jones gets up holding his arm. Let's go downstairs to Jackie Reid. Anything to report down there, Jackie?
No, they've had a much quieter quarter, the Doctors, on both benches this quarter. Heath Grundy is on the bench at the moment, but he looked okay when he came off the ground. It's
a week short of 7 years since Essendon last beat Sydney, and that was here at Etihad by a point. It might be a similar margin tonight if the Bombers do prevail. They're 5 up late in the third. Merritt the clearance, kicks it round the corner. McDonald, Tippin Woody marks on his chest right on 50. Off a step. It was a lazy kick. He threaded the needle, and Fantasia is marked between about 4 Swans on a slight angle, only 35 from home.
I tell you what, the Swans have not defended. Bellchambers hit the ball from the ruck contest forward towards the boundary line. They have ran onto that nearly all night. The Swans midfielders have to get a bit further away from the tap out.
5 against the Dockers last week in his return from injury. Goalless so far tonight, but a chance to give his side an 11-point lead. Orazio Fantasia, lovely kicking style, beautiful execution, straight through the middle. Essendon out by 11, 11-10-76. Sydney 10-5-65. Robot Building Supplies scoreboard. 2 minutes and 8 seconds remaining until the final change.
Just keep finding the answers, the Bombers. So whenever Sydney get close, the Bombers find the next goal. So they've been brave here, Sydney, but I just feel like Essendon have a few more weapons. And Orazio Fantasia, we had Devon Smith on the Sunday Footy Show. He called him the Ferrari. He's like a Ferrari, this bloke. He said, don't put him in the wet, just keep him for the big games and these dry conditions where he's unstoppable. And I think since he's come back into the side, they've rarely lost the game. I think his record's 9 wins, 3 losses when he plays, and they've lost most when he doesn't play.
From the ball up, couple of minutes left in the third. Sinclair to Kennedy, scrambles it forward, high kick, and the mark to Hooker. Did well. Always had the positioning on McCartan. And he goes back to Goddard, who's in his familiar spot. Defensive goal square, looks up, hands to the runner. Sard has a bounce, wrong, chases him, forces him to kick it wide to McKenna. Brilliant ball use. McKenna marks on the wing, floats it wide towards Devon Smith, who takes off, kicks the Bombers inside 50. Low bullet, Stringer can't mark it, and it's dumped out of play, and we'll get a ball in inside 50, half forward flank for Essendon.
You just feel the Bombers' leg speed might get them in the end. It's been...
Yeah, I think so. Off half-back midfield, yes. In defence, I still think that Stringer and those guys just can't get off the leash of Rampy.
Bellchambers and Sinclair. Bellchambers won it down to no one in particular. Parker in the end grabs it. High kick over his left shoulder, land on centre wing. McKenna flew over the back of Hewitt. Didn't take the mark. Handball to Goddard, who fumbled. Ricocheted back to McKenna, who bursts away from the congestion. There's that leg speed again. Zach Jones drops the mark. Chance there for Orazio, who just misses. In fact, he slams it into the woodwork. The Swans hit the post twice in the first quarter. The Bombers' first poster of the night, and it gives them a 2-goal lead. Too early to call it a draw like margin at the moment, Dwayne, but it's 12 points, 77-65 after 30 and a half of the third.
I was going to say I like your optimism, but it's kind of your pessimism, really, isn't it? Hayward's got it. He's dumped. He's slam tackled into the deck, holding the ball, and he's not moving in a hurry. Oh, no, he's okay. Parrish chips it inside 50. Up flies Aliir. Can't mark it. Fox can't crumb it. Ball hits the deck. We're down to 35 seconds. And we'll get a ball up.
Tell you what, the Mitch Brown role on Aliir has been as important as anything that's happened in this game.
We don't really want to draw, do we? Do you like your draws?
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
I don't.
No, neither do I. Let's see it out. Let's get a result. Ball knocked down towards Cunningham. Florent there. Can't mark it. Guelphy about to go. Florent picked his pocket and got away with it from Langford. Little chip kick to the midfield. McCartan slapped it straight to Hurley, who of course is playing for the Bombers. 15 seconds left to Goddard. Short pass to Parrish. We're down to 10 seconds. He's going to have to send it inside 50. He doesn't know how long left. He goes wide to Heppel. He's outside 50. We're down to 3 seconds. Heppel sends it long inside 50. Cunningham in the hole. Still a chance for a crumb. Zaharakis on the siren, misses. 3/4 time. Full Etihad Stadium, great game, and the Bombers not far away. What's that?
Lord Nelson.
Oh, I like it. 11-11-77 to 10-5-65 at 3/4 time. Don't go anywhere. 3RW footy for Maccas.
This is the 2018 Toyota AFL Premiership season. This quarter brought to you by Robot Building Supplies. Robot's got it for all your building supplies.